you turn on that monitor? Well, I don't know. I didn't check it. We're getting data. We're getting data. Yeah. Awesome. Brian, can you turn on that monitor while you're there? Alright. Mary Jo's going to use this wireless one. Is that correct? She can use the lavalier there. There's a lavalier there. Can you hand the lavalier up to him? I don't know. Are we sending audio right now, Chad? Is that perfect? All right.
Right, of course.
This is a big year, what? Take it back down. I'll take your waiver down. Take it down right now.
Put it in your mouth. Help.
I'm going to give you a mic check back with you. I've never said that. You usually say sit while you're testing.
I've never heard it.
It's from, I always forget the movie. Check. 1, 2, sibilance. It's one of those things that I say and I forget it. Where they do it.
Talks into a microphone. It's
Yeah.
I hope that was live.
We are live.
All right.
All right, man. They can hear us, I think. But all right. We'll go into the pre-roll. You guys ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Here we go, friends.
Show starts. Bring me out.
Welcome to Hy-Vee Today with Tony Tone. We're live inside Muscatine Hy-Vee on 2nd Avenue in Muscatine, streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Now, here's Tony Tone.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a very special edition of Hy-Vee Today. This is Tony Tone. I am going to have the greatest helmet hair ever following this for a good cause. We are high atop the Laurel Building in downtown Muscatine. It's Friday, October 19th. Over the Edge Muscatine is going to start in a few moments. That means nearly, and Jason Miller's off camera, 80 people that you probably know, a lot of them, are going to go voluntarily over the edge of this building for a good cause to help out Big Brothers Big Sisters of Muscatine County, Special Olympics of Muscatine County, and the Chamber Ambassador. So we're really excited to have this privilege, and that's what it is, to be with you live for Over the Edge. We have cameras set up all over the place, including another camera right there. We have a camera right behind me that you can see that's set up, that's like looking towards the river and the old hotel and the Merrill, and it's going to be a great morning. So, all right, we're going to talk to Mary Jo. Mary, I'm sorry? Do I have a what? Oh my gosh, you have another camera. Mary Jo, look at that. There's a camera that's on top of the other. There's like a roof on top of a roof up here. And Betsy is running that one. This is fantastic. And Jonah's up there too. All right, Mary Jo, say your last name so I don't get it wrong.
Fincham.
Fincham. That's not that hard. It's good to have you here
Nice
with Stanley Consultants. So first of all, thanks for letting this event happen on the roof of the Laurel Building. This is unbelievable. I mean, Mary Jo, this event had been in the works for a while, but here we sit. How are you feeling?
Oh, so excited.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that we're able to host this event
Yeah.
and be the platinum sponsor. I'm excited that I'm going to get to repel. I'm excited that we're raising so much money for these three great organizations.
So Stanley Consultants has been in Muscatine for
105 years.
105 years. I wouldn't have guessed it correctly. one of my favorite stories from a few years ago, and not to make this about me, but I was at the MCSA Domestic Violence Shelter New Beginnings fundraiser. It was at Geneva Golf and Country Club. And my job, this is the first year I volunteered, was to hand out champagne to people coming into the fundraiser. And there was this very nice couple. And this gentleman was pushing his wife in a wheelchair, and I offered her champagne, and she said, yes, thank you. And then he said no. And I said, well, I'll walk with you to your table. Anyways, it was the Stanleys. I had no idea. They were so kind. Got to meet them that night for the first time 4 or 5 years ago and chat with them. And their legacy certainly is one that, I mean, we all hope to do good things in life, but the Stanleys were truly wonderful people that loved this community. And really, I mean, Stanley Consultants a global player in a good way, but just talk about that legacy. I mean, you have to have such a good sense of pride coming to work every day here, right?
When I moved to Muscatine over 25 years ago, I started going to church at First Presbyterian with Dick and Mary Jo Stanley.
Sure.
And I met them, and I thought, I need to work at Stanley Consultants because this is the most amazing man I've ever met in my life. And he's my hero.
It's so great.
Mary Jo and I, of course, share a name.
I was going to say, right?
So we had never experienced that before, so we both decided that we would share names with each other. But I'll tell you, for many years, if anyone said Mary Jo at church, they were talking to her.
Right, yeah. You could be like, oh, did you mean, oh, sorry, never mind.
Yeah.
But what a great person to have that in common with, right?
Yes.
So I guess I feel like people know the work that goes on at Stanley Consultants, and we don't have to go in depth because this is really a celebration of Stanley Consultants supporting the community. But could you just a broad overview of the work that's happening, here at Stanley Consultants on a daily basis? I mean, certainly people may their experience may be driving by. They might have you may have a friend or two that works here, but for a lot of folks, I imagine they might not know what goes on, right?
The neat thing about Stanley's in Muscatine is you can live in a wonderful small town environment and literally work around the world. So we have people in these buildings that are designing military air base projects in the Middle East. We have people that go to Jamaica. We have some over in Europe now, I believe. Wow. And it's so nice to be able to live in Muscatine and do that kind of work. We also have people in this building that work on the Muscatine separated sewer system. They work on your highways right outside the door. They work throughout Iowa. And with the way that you're able to work over Skype now, some of the people in this building are working on projects all over the country.
It's so impressive, right? So we're embracing the technology, but also never shying away from an opportunity to give back to the community. So, personally for me, Special Olympics of Muscatine is an organization that I feel very fondly towards. I have a brother-in-law with severe autism. I grew up with a cousin who had special needs, so I've never seen someone with special needs as anything other than just a person, right? It's been around me my entire life. So that's an organization that I try and do a lot for. Big Brothers Big Sisters Muscatine County, hearing that there's 50 kids on the waiting list right now always makes me sad, but proud at the same time because they're working every single day to bring that number down. And then the Chamber Ambassadors and knowing the work that they do for businesses in this town. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better group of organizations that are worthy of a day like this. So I imagine, Mary Jo, as this idea came to be that for Stanley Consultants, it was probably, I don't know if it was an immediate yes. And an immediate yes, you can send people over our building, but you probably felt pretty strongly about knowing who was involved, right?
Yeah. And as I've gotten to know Lindsay from Big Brothers Big Sisters and Jason from Special Olympics and Shelley from the Chamber, these guys do amazing work. I've been so impressed with their organizational skills and just the way they have made this first-time event so organized.
It's wild to be sitting here with you on the roof of the Laurel Building, and it didn't really hit me. 2 times this morning as I was parking my vehicle and walking up towards the building, I took a short video, and then getting, of course, the harness and stuff on, and there's the shot that folks are looking at right now. So we're seated right below that scaffolding that the Over the Edge folks built, and then in around 10:30 for myself personally, I will be, and there's Ryan Broderson has an even better shot. I'll be going up there, and you'll be doing this at around noon, and then we go over the edge.
That's right. I am so excited.
Now there is, Mary Jo, there's a bounce house down below on the street. I would like to just land in the bounce house.
No. So we have Stanley Consultants bullseyes for you to rappel right onto top of.
Is it true that if I land right in the middle, I get a $100 bill?
Jason said that's true.
Jason, you're too kind. So folks that land right in the middle on the Stanley Consultants bullseye, $100 bill. What a great idea. Giving back. Not a bad idea. So, supporting the community is something that Stanley Consultants has done for 105 out of the 105 years that you've been here. I also know that this is a workplace, because I do have friends that work here. They always speak highly of the culture and the fact that, like my employer, Hy-Vee now, they want you to get out and be involved. They almost, not that they require it, but they embrace it. And, I appreciate that about this community, that we have these large employers that have a lot of people doing good work every day, and the fact that the people in roles of power, leadership, know how important it is to get them out, right?
And not only are we the building host, platinum sponsor, but we have the biggest team.
Do you really?
We have 9 members going over from Stanley Consultants today.
Whoa, 9. So think about that. It's Friday morning, so people are working. They're changing the world, literally, from Muscatine across the globe, and then they're going to be heading up, and there's Ryan Broderson with the camera on top of the scaffolding.
Now, I'll have to give Lucas Hines a plug, because he works for Stanley, so he's on our team, but he's also on the Special Olympics team.
Awesome.
So he is the only reason we can claim the biggest team. So we're kind of cutting him in half.
Oh my gosh, this is great. What's funny about you here, as we talked about before we started, is your role is usually helping people get to these interviews. So I'm glad that you took the time to do this, because I do think it's important for people to understand that for an event like Over the Edge to come into existence, you have to have the right support. You have to have the right building, quite frankly, and then all the logistics behind it to get us to where we are. And as far as I know, and we'll probably get to look at this, as of a couple of days ago, the total amount raised was like $58,000. I imagine we are.
I think it's way more than that.
Right. I was going to say we had a goal. Jason, do you know where we were at? The most recent update, fundraising dollars for today. Last I checked, it was like 58,000. I'm assuming.
That's online. That does not count.
Oh, that's just the online. Oh, wow.
We're actually over $100,000.
We're over $100,000, ladies and gentlemen. How wonderful is that? And again, knowing that those dollars are staying in this community to help people that need it, that genuinely need it, empowering our athletes, pairing up bigs with littles, and then supporting the chamber and all the great work that they do. So the obvious question, Mary Jo, is should we do it next year? What do you think?
Oh, I'm game.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. I feel like maybe next year we could rappel from the additional roof that it made. That's a little bit too high.
Like the triple jump.
Yeah, I was going to say. This is, I think, at 100 feet, 105 feet, we're
Is that
good.
what it is, 105?
That's what somebody told me. I almost don't want to know, because in just a little bit it's going to be me that's making the descent. Is there anything else that you want to touch on while we're here on the roof?
Well, for one thing, tell people to come down
Yes,
all day.
please. Right. Thank you, Mary Jo. So if you're watching us live, or if you're catching this later on social media, you need to come down, because there are festivities all throughout the day into the evening, live music, a spot for the kids. I told you about the bounce house. And until probably 6 p.m. or so, you'll be able to see people every 10 minutes coming down the side of the building. So again, if you see this going on, Spider-Man is not in town. These are folks that you know, and a lot of them raising a significant amount of money to be able to do this, right? So yes, and it is a party by all accounts. This is a celebration of this day. Iowa Avenue is closed down between 2nd and 3rd Street, so this is going to be wonderful. All we could ask for is maybe a little bit more sunshine.
And we've had so many amazing sponsors either give donations or in-kind sponsorships. It's fantastic.
It's got to make you feel good. Wow. So what a fun Friday, right? I mean, out of all the days, you come to work, love what you do, but today's just something special. And I don't know what to think about when I'm going to be heading down soon, but I've got all the gear on, and I think this is really what makes it happen, is what they've told me. This is kind of like the braking mechanism that controls the speed as you go over.
Will you have a GoPro?
I think I am going to have a GoPro, yeah. Brian Broderson, who works on this show, says he's got all the bells and whistles, so this is exciting.
You can do it.
All right, thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Mary Jo, it's great to see you. All right, Chad, I don't even know which camera we should look at, but I'll grab that mic off you too.
Thank you.
Hold on, you're hooked up, Mary Jo, sorry. Let's look at that camera, thank you. Look at this. All right, so this is that view from the higher spot on top of the roof of the Laurel building, and you're looking at the scaffolding where folks are going to start going over the edge in just a few minutes. Unbelievable. And yeah, I should, give some shout outs to people that are volunteering and really putting this together. It was so wonderful coming up towards the roof access and seeing a familiar face in our friend Frank Iliff with Rebuilding Together Muscatine County. Frank serving as kind of the last check to make sure that everybody is here that needs to be here. And then you're looking live right now at folks with Over the Edge and their volunteers that are going to be helping everybody get situated, if you will, to then go over the edge. So myself included, right? This is wonderful. So it's really something to be here with you and to have the support from Hy-Vee and my employer Jim Simmons, who's down on the street right now, and everybody here to be able to let us do this. Hey, Jason Miller, you want to come over? We're gonna get Jason Miller mic'd up, and we're gonna talk to him in just a second. Now the thing is, Jason Miller was here. Well, not here, but he was on the show the other day from inside our regular studios, but he's with us high atop the Laurel Building on a day that you knew was going to be here. How are you feeling, buddy?
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, you don't have the harness on. You got the helmet.
No, I'm not all. Yeah, apparently I didn't need it. I thought I was supposed to. But
yeah, and then they just said
I'm
get
good
up
with
there
just the helmet.
so you can be on the program.
Yeah.
So thanks for letting us do this.
Thanks for being on here.
Oh, man.
This means a lot.
I feel like I wouldn't
a
want to
big
be
day.
anywhere else. I know. And what's so impressive, and we've been showing people this crew with Over the Edge. They really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
This is something that they do all the time, so they are very efficient.
Very
at
very
getting this
professional.
rolling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, you can't run an outfit that is not safe.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
bad for business. Kind of
Yeah.
like serving, bad food at a restaurant.
Right.
You
Yeah.
don't want people to get sick because nobody's
Sure.
going to come back, right?
I think
So-
what's fascinating is that like all of my stuff that was in my pockets, phone, keys, everything is secured in a bag.
Yeah.
Because, and this is that thing that people might not realize is if you're going to rappel over the side of the building, the last thing that you want to have happen
Right.
is something fall
Right,
off
exactly.
of your person.
And they even explained even a tissue, which sounds crazy,
Wow.
because the people at the bottom don't know what's falling down. They don't know what that object
Right,
is.
right.
So, even those details. I'm surprised they didn't pat us down. I was.
You would have welcomed a pat down. I mean, in this harness, there's not not much to see that's not already accounted for. So.
Right.
All right, you're going over the edge at what time?
210.
Boy.
Yeah.
All right, so you'll be down here taking it all in.
Yeah, I'll be
learning
down
from
at the bottom
people.
watching you go down.
Oh,
So,
good. So
yeah.
you're gonna have a good perspective.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, everybody keeps asking me, am I afraid of heights? And as I've said, like I don't think I am. But again, going 100 feet over the side of the building is not something that I've ever done in my life.
Yeah. So I was up on the scaffolding yesterday, the last couple days, and just kind of looking over that edge is a little intimidating, and that's the hardest part is
Right.
making that turnaround and then taking that initial
It's unreal.
leap of faith to
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I was telling Mary Jo, one of the volunteers was saying when you start to get ready to go, you almost have to sit. And then you start the
So you
actual
have to trust
rappel.
it,
So
yeah.
you have to, you're trusting, and of course
Right.
all of these ropes are secure and good and all of that, but you're at that point, at that moment, and you'll see it live for folks that are watching or catch it again on the replay. I don't know if I'll watch it back because I'll have lived through it,
Yeah.
but what I do know is that, that's where all of this gear will come into play, so to
right.
speak. But they know what they're doing, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And for a lot of these folks, I mean, they've got to be just so excited to be doing this as part of their job with Over the Edge. You said off the air, $100,000 raised.
So far, yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I don't even think the goal was $100,000. Is that right?
The goal was 75.
Okay.
And actually, I was a little skeptic
Sure.
as to whether or not we would do it. It's
That's a
first
lot
time
of
event,
money,
right?
First time event ever.
Yeah, and Lindsay's been very positive and instrumental that she's, we'll get over 100,000. I'm like, I don't know, but yeah, we made it happen.
Wow.
So, yeah.
It's unreal to think about that. One day. Now, certainly there have been months of fundraising and events and planning, but ultimately one day, start to finish, will have such a drastic impact. And what a great view we have right now with Betsy.
That's a cool view.
Technically, I guess that would be the Toyota Muscatine car cam from, she's probably 200 feet up in the air up there. If you're
Very cool.
not good at the math on that, but that is super impressive. When it comes time to receive the fruits of the labor, so to speak, from today, are there I mean, obviously you don't want to put the cart before the horse, but are
Sure.
there things that Special Olympics will be able to do now after having such a successful day like this?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, when you look at Special Olympics as a whole
Sure.
and all the things that we do for our athletes and all the things that we need, the funding sources haven't been as easy to come by here
Sure.
lately in the past. And so we've had to come up with new ways to be
Sure.
creative and come up with those funding sources. So our athletes, our largest costs are like transportation, uniforming, we have overnight stays, we have registration, and so all those things play into what we do as far as accommodating them
Right.
and making sure that they're taken care of. And when we go on these events, I don't have to worry about money. I can worry about them and make sure that my programming is good and make sure that they're taken care of.
So it really is going to buy a lot of peace of mind.
Yes.
I mean, for lack of a better
Yes.
analogy or way to
It
describe
will.
it. And I think
Yeah.
for a lot of folks that are watching this or that will watch this, they'll understand quickly that, you know, Special Olympic athletes going to an event, there's so much more to it than that. I mean, all
Yep.
of the transport, especially, you know, you were just in Seattle for the National Games.
Yep.
And the ability to go, again, from small town Iowa, by all accounts, small town Iowa, Muscatine, Iowa. We're looking at some Special Olympics of Muscatine Facebook photos on the screen, which I appreciate. Chad, thank you. To be able to go from, you know, small town in Muscatine to, you know, sometimes crisscrossing the globe
Yeah.
at different events, it's a big deal. So that's
is.
why
It
today
is.
you almost had to be successful.
Right,
To ensure that
exactly.
you are able to continue doing that.
Yeah, and a lot of our guys, they don't have the opportunity to get outside of Muscatine.
Right.
You know, it's pretty rare. So, quick story about when we went to Ames, we had a new athlete, and it's a 2-night stay.
Sure.
We feed them. They are able to, you know, go and compete in the sports that they qualify for. And after it was all said and done, I had one of the athletes come up to me and say, "Hey, I've never stayed in a hotel room. I've never stayed in a dorm, and so this is my first time. And thank you so much. This is really awesome. I've never." And we have a lot of people like that
That's
just don't get
unbelievable.
those opportunities.
Right.
So Special Olympics provides that, along with our Global Messenger Workshop program that we have. So
Sure.
athletes like Nathan Paulson and Travis Moss and Corey Leonard and those guys, they can travel the United States, they can travel Iowa and talk about Special Olympics and you know, tell their story, and that's pretty cool.
It's such a good story to tell too, right? And to know, you know, personally, a lot of the athletes, they're inspirational. I mean, just,
yeah.
you know, we started the show about 3 minutes after Nathan Paulson completed singing
Yeah,
the
he did
national anthem
Yeah.
on the ground level. So
Yeah.
the Muscatine High School Mighty Muskie Marching Band was performing. Nathan
Yep.
was singing.
Yep.
What a day for him. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you know, you talk about being nervous to go over the side of a building. How about singing the national anthem
Right.
with a backing band?
Yeah,
You know?
that's well, and they only rehearsed that once this morning
Oh
before
my
they came
gosh,
down here. So
unbelievable. Yeah.
we love showing off his talents. He's
Yeah.
a remarkable athlete, person, talented individual, and yeah, we just love having him part of our program.
You know, something that we've talked about, but not recently when you've been on the show, is the impact that Special Olympics Muscatine can have for the care providers, the parents, the families of the Special Olympic athletes, because the unfortunate circumstance that happens not a lot of times, but I mean, I'm certainly aware of the fact that for a family that may have a child or an adult family member with special needs, sometimes they feel isolated, they feel alone, they don't feel like anybody can empathize with their situation, and the coordination that it takes people to get through simple daily routines.
Right.
So when you can line them up, those families, and I know that it's not about the families, but ultimately the friendships that have been forged, and you've seen this, where
Yeah.
you have a new athlete join up with Special Olympics in Muscatine, and then really you don't want to just take care of the athlete, you want the family to become
Right.
friends with everybody, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I always say I have two families. So I've got my own family,
Right.
and then I've got my Special Olympics family, and we
Absolutely.
really are. I mean, we're a close-knit group. And this, when you talk about respite and being able to give, you know, mothers, fathers, family members an opportunity to get away for a while,
Yep.
you know, and be able to have that time where they can spend with their other kids.
Sure.
And can-do camp that we run in the summertime provides that for families. So like, for instance, my sister, Brady, her son Brady is in can-do camp. And so, you know, for 3 weeks, she can send him to us and he can go and have fun and travel the community and do all these fun things. And then she gets time to work out, shop, whatever she needs to do.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and I know that's and that's far from my sister's mind that, oh, I need this,
No,
but
yes.
it's nice to provide that for people, which is it's great.
It's just one of those things. Again, you know, if you're watching and you have no connection to Special Olympics, you probably know someone that has special needs, and you might not understand the day to day, and that's okay too. But you can certainly appreciate the fact that keeping an organization well funded and well supported is important. And the same goes with Lindsay Phillips and Big Brothers Big Sisters in Muscatine County. She would say the same thing, how important it is to get that big brother or that big sister paired with that little, and know that they're going to be there for them, and the impact that can have. I mean, it's really something else. It's starting to rain a little bit more here.
Well, I'll tell you what, Muscatine has showed up.
How about it?
I mean, the giving in this community is exceptional, and I'll say that the Chamber ambassadors in the Chamber are really important in this community for the fact that they support our small businesses. They support our businesses here in town. If we don't have those businesses, if they're not supported, then we can't get funding from them. They can't help us out. So it goes full circle.
It really is.
It's really important to have a strong community like we do, with strong businesses, and so it's great that we have this partnership with Stanley's. They've been huge in this event and providing the building and sponsorship and all that stuff, and all the other sponsors that we have. So we hope that we can just do this for the next couple of years. I'd love to forever. I don't know how many years that you could possibly do this same thing, but
well, I think the good news is to have, you know, and it's certainly not about like how do other communities' first years with having Over the Edge go, but it makes you feel pretty darn good when you can sit here and say that over $100,000 will be raised, and that 80 participants will go over the edge of the beautiful Laurel Building in downtown Muscatine. Again, this is something that has nothing to this scale has ever happened in this community.
No, and Over the Edge will tell you that your first year is good, and it's your second and third year that you do it are really good.
Wow.
Because word gets out, people see it. There's a lot of hesitancy with a lot of people like, I'm not sure, I don't know what this Over the Edge thing is. I'm not sure if I want to go off a building. Once they see it and come down and see it, that's awesome. Holy moly, it's really coming down.
Picking up a little bit of rain.
Of course this would happen. It doesn't rain all week.
Right as our first groups are getting ready to go over the edge, and you can see it on the various cameras that we have set up. From Chad and Jonah here on the immediate set, Betsy's high atop us, and Ryan Broderson kind of roving right now. There's Shelly. So Shelly and Jared Johnson going over first.
Yeah, Shelly. So far, Shelly has raised the most amount of money, and that's awesome. She did a fantastic job, and she earned it. Like she went out and got it, so that's cool.
She really did. I mean, it's so impressive to know again that people can get this excited about it. But I like that shot right there that we're kind of seeing this happen. You can see Jared Johnson, Arctic Dental, standing right there, getting ready to go. Yeah, man, this is wild to be able to have this. And can we go to Ryan's camera up top? There's Ryan. Okay, so Ryan Broderson behind the camera, Jared Johnson getting ready to go. I mean, they just kind of walked through the practice run, and I was kind of seeing them out of the corner of my eye as we've been sitting here talking, and they are up and ready to go.
Yeah, that's cool to watch. Cool to see the process.
Oh man, this is something else.
You get nervous?
I feel like you know, I look at my watch and it's 10:03. That means in 27 minutes it's my turn.
Yep.
So it's real. It's the reality of this day is sinking in. Do we have a split screen going on right now? That is so cool. So we're looking again at the riverfront. You can see the old Muscatine Hotel, the Merrill Hotel, and then